Hi and welcome to Dinner and Drinks. This is our first ever YouTube fully produced Dinner and Drinks. I'm very excited to show you what I can make in an hour and hopefully somewhere around 20 minutes. Tonight on the menu, it's Greek. We're gonna have some shredded chicken, gyros, and I've been sipping on what's called a Greek Sidecar. This thing is interestingly delicious. It's made with what's called metaxa, metaxa. Something, one of those three have to be right. First things first, we gotta let the marinade go. So we're gonna marinate some boneless, skinless chicken breast. Let me show you how that's done. Got a bowl right here, right? I'm gonna put 1 whole cup of non-fat, fat-free. So non-fat, fat-free, same thing. Greek yogurt. I'm doing laundry at the same time, everybody. Yeah! All right, let's get all this out of here. There's just a lot going on in my life today. Let's get some more light going on here. Awesome. Now we can see. Gonna get some garlic, good tablespoon worth. Oregano. Let's do lemon juice. And salt and pepper. Mix everything up. There we go. Now it's gonna get there. It took a little bit for it to break up. That yogurt was clumpy. So I'm gonna let this marinade for a little while in the fridge. That's what we're showing you. This is gonna sit in the fridge covered in a Ziploc bag. You don't want to marinate it overnight, especially with the lemon juice. The acid will actually start to break down the chicken. It's kind of like why you can use lemons in seafood for a ceviche. There's one more thing I'm going to add to this, and it's just a little dash of dill. And you know what? I don't know why, but I think I'm going to do something else too. Something tells me that throwing honey in there might also be good. We're going to find out. It's just a tablespoon of honey. And you could have used honey flavored yogurt, but I used the non-fat. Right? Looks good to me. Let's get our plastic bag out. And so none of the chicken sticks to the side and we can seal it up tight. I'm gonna roll it over in on itself. Here we go, it's 1.5 pounds of chicken I've got here. In the baggie, and in the baggie. Let's see if I can spread them out. In goes our sauce. Marinade. All right, and that is that for that. As my washer kicks back up. Now let me show you if we can unfold it. Look at that. There's no sauce, no grossness on the zippy part. Let's let some of the air escape out. Finish sealing it up. And now just kind of work it in there. So I'm gonna let this go for maybe 45 minutes. And then I will come back and we will begin the cooking process of our Greek chicken gyros. All right, so off we go. Our chicken has been marinating now for just about an hour. Gonna go ahead and throw it into this stock pot right here. It's just chicken stock. It's about 1/2 cup of chicken stock, and I throw all that in there. I'm thinking I'm gonna just dump this entire bag in there. I know it's gonna cook the yogurt, but it's gonna shred it apart. And the thing is, this is gonna cook for a few hours. So you could use a Instapot. I'm using just this. You could use a Dutch oven, but I decided not to use the cast iron Dutch oven. But we're gonna go ahead and just dump everything in there. Hopefully without splashing hot water, stock all over ourselves. I'm gonna separate the two so there's even cooking. And the next time we hit play or record or whatever, the chicken should be ready to go. Okay, so it's been 1 hour since we put the chicken in with the stock and its own marinade. In this bowl, well, pan or whatever, I'm gonna saute some onions, flavor with some garlic, obviously some olive oil is going down, and your boy is officially now out of olive oil. Let's take a look. So you can see a lot of the marinade is obviously cooked off, but it's all mixed in with the stock that we have in there. I'm gonna do a quick flip so we can see everything in there. And look, it is starting to want to shred a bit. It's definitely not there. It needs at least another hour, which is fine. So we'll let that keep going. And by the way, the chicken's only on like a 2 on your stove. So, you know, this is a long process. This is gonna be a little bit of a day, half a day, maybe quarter of a day is really what we're going for. 4 hours would be perfect for this thing to cook. In this pan right here, we've got our olive oil in there. We want it to at least coat the pan. We want to soften the onions. I still want some crunch to them. I don't want like squishy onion. So it's just gonna be enough for it to crunch. And then what's gonna also happen is I'm gonna throw in some garlic, get some good flavor going with the garlic. Then we're gonna throw in, we've got diced Roma tomatoes. Unfortunately, my neighborhood grocery store did not have whole Roma tomatoes, so we found a can. We're good to go. And we'll get that in there. This is the ingredients that are gonna go inside. I just kind of want the flavors to all mix together, and then we're gonna put everything in this empty bowl and fridge it. Side note, what I went ahead and added into here was just a tablespoon of butter just for some extra flavor. We're gonna go ahead and throw in our diced onions. Here comes the laundry, just heads up, sorry. Let's get everybody coated in that olive oil and that butter so there's some flavor in there. And I might layer some flavors on now, just a little bit of pepper. You can see all the onions have a little, well, hopefully you can see. I can see. Every little bit of onion has a little bit of pepper flake on it, some ground pepper. So we'll let that go for maybe 1 more minute. I think the butter was a good add, I'm not gonna lie. I know it's not necessarily authentically Greek, but we're gonna add another tablespoon of garlic in here. It's minced. And this is only gonna go for 30 seconds. Lots of laundry happening. Gonna kill the heat from an 8 to a 5. And I also strained the juice out of the tomatoes because they weren't a can, because I want this to be thick. I don't want this to be thin. We're topping it over our gyro. I'm gonna go ahead and dump in now our diced Roma tomatoes. Everybody a nice healthy mix around. Personally, over the washer that's happening right now, because I got to do laundry today, I want a lot of this liquid to evaporate. So we're going to make that happen and throw away that little bit, because then we have another liquid to add into it that I'll show you shortly. You can see the chicken is doing good. It is starting to really start to fall apart here. If I actually flip this one over, it is starting to fall apart, which is great. Let's flip this one over. We see this one has already been doing pretty good work. That is good. I want these little shredded pieces. But our attention is now on our topping. You can see it's reduced down quite a bit. I'm gonna add 2 special ingredients. One is fresh lime juice. It's literally just 1 shot. The other one is what we made out of our drink. It's called metaxa. It is a Greek brandy. I hope I'm saying it correctly. It could be miaxa. I don't know, but put that in there as well. Not traditional, but I felt like bringing some Greek flavors into our Greek dish. I know we reduced everything down. I want all these flavors to get to know each other, and it's definitely smelling like alcohol. And I'm gonna let this go low and slow. We still have, we're on an hour and a half now with our chicken. I want everybody in here to incorporate themselves. The alcohol, because of the heat, hopefully, well, not hopefully, will probably burn off. Okay, these have been cooking for a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the heat. And I don't wanna lose a lot of the liquid. I want the liquid to be a part of it. So I'll let this cool down, and then what I'm gonna do is put them in a bin and put them in the fridge. And we've got about a minute left on our 2 hours here for our chicken that has been marinating for 45 minutes in our own yogurt sauce. And then we put some chicken stock in here. It smells absolutely amazing. Let me grab my tongs out of here. This is starting to fall apart. So we're gonna actually do a test to see if it's ready to be shreddable. And I wanted to show you that, look, it's starting to fall apart. See, this big piece just fell off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that aside. So let's take our good piece out here. This is honestly the thicker of the two. So let's take this one out, put it in our bowl. I'm gonna take this one and just kind of keep it in the stock that we've got going, keep it covered. It's still on a 2. And if you've never seen anyone shred chicken, you need 2 forks. It's starting to go. Smells absolutely amazing. Oh, it's coming apart so great. And you can do this for barbecue shredded chicken, buffalo chicken shredded chicken. Like, as long as you put the work in, you put the time in, you kind of just set it and forget it. You know, check it back. I always like to set a timer for an hour just to see how things are going. But look at that. That is perfectly shredded chicken. I'm actually going to bring this out because I want it to cool evenly. So we're going to put our shredded chicken on this sheet tray. Kind of lay everybody out. Again, that was only 2 hours on a 2 on your stove. Let's just see if this one's ready. If it isn't ready, you can always pop it back in there and let it do its thing. This one's not shredding near as pretty as the first one. I also don't think it was as big of a chicken breast as the other one was. All right, so as you can see, our chicken is shredded, but I want to add a little bit of color to it. I think that this kind of looks boring. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of our chicken, throw it in here. We've got some butter going. I just want to brown it up a little bit. Not anything too crazy, but just enough to get a little bit of color on what we're dealing with here. I think that if you brown a little bit of your chicken, it's going to add some extra flavor to it. So we're going to let that do its thing. It also gives us the opportunity to find some of the bigger chunks that we want to shred up. You can also use it this time to season a little bit more if you'd like. Some pepper, some salt. Not too much salt because remember you did cook it in chicken stock, so it's plenty salty already. And then just a little bit more oregano. All right, let's take a look at our chicken really quick. Let's mix everybody up around. Make sure everything's getting nice and evenly cooked. Hopefully adding a little bit of color, some more flavor. Now we got to make a tzatziki sauce. And there's only one thing I can't add into my tzatziki because I used it all earlier, and that is olive oil. But our chicken is finely shredded, which is great. Cover this back up. Let's get to our tzatziki, which is going to go in this bowl right here. And it's going to start with us grating a cucumber. We're going to go from here to about here. Well, from here to about here maybe with the cucumber. So let's just get to it. And now the whole place smells like cucumber, which I'm okay with because cucumbers are awesome. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit the stop button now. That looks pretty good. That's about maybe a quarter of a cup. But there's tons of juice in there, so that's fine. Up next into our tzatziki sauce. Same story with Greek yogurt. It's non-fat. We're gonna take our half cup. I'm gonna just throw everything in there. So it might be 3/4 of a cup that we're using. Added to that, some garlic. A dash of lime juice. Pepper. Salt, sorry. Here's the pepper. And then lastly, some dill weed. We've got some dill in there already with our food, but there we go. And in comes everything. Mix everything together. See the green from the dill? It's already mixing in there. Oh, well, that's also the cucumber. I'm sorry. And homemade tzatziki sauce. Before we plate this beast up, I do want to show you how to make what's called a Greek sidecar. We put this on TikTok earlier, but I'm going to show it to you right now. You got to grab a glass, take the rim, put a lemon around it, and then you want to coat the rim with sugar, like so. Got to get your shaker, fill it with ice. Fill your cup with ice. We then move on to 2 ounces of what's called metaxa. Hope I'm saying it right. Kristen Giannis of Fox 35 could tell me if I'm right or wrong. She's Greek. I'm also just trying to get her attention. 2 ounces of metaxa. 1. behind my liquor cabinet here, we need 1 ounce of orange liqueur, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, and that's all she wrote. Let's get our lid on our shaker, and into our glass we go. Now you should top that with a garnish of a lemon peel, but your boy threw away all of his lemons. So the juice is all we have, but there you have a Greek sidecar. All right, so went ahead and heated our pita bread for 30 seconds on each side. Here's our pita bread. Treat it pretty much just kind of like a taco kind of thing. Let's get our tzatziki down. Up next, look at this big bowl of shredded chicken we've got going on here. Let's grab a nice bit full, I guess is what we'll call it. Look at that. And then I'm gonna top it with just some spring mix. And on top of that, we've got our tomato mixture. Remember we made that earlier? See how much it's reduced down? It's nice and thick. I'm a fan of it. Roma tomatoes with some garlic, some lime, some of the metexa on there. And then lastly, we're just gonna throw some of these red onions on top. And there's a homemade chicken gyro that we're now gonna also put more of our tzatziki sauce on top. Hopefully it folds. It looks like it will. And this is a massive meal for one. All right, so let's dive into this beast and see how it really is. All of these flavors should come together very well. The tzatziki sauce is already absolutely amazing. I want to get into the chicken that was all pita. Plus I want the tomatoes. Oh man. I got the hiccups because it's so good. I want to eat more of it. Pair it with a Greek sidecar, and your life is good. Dinner and drinks. Thanks for watching.